And now for our feature presentation.
I took a job as a night guard at a game store and found a disturbing set of rules to follow. My name is Ali. I'm an 18-year-old high school student. Less than a year ago, my father passed away in a tragic fire accident. Since my mother was both blind and handicapped, and I was the only child qualified and old enough for a job, the burden of putting food on the table for my family fell on my shoulders. I worked small-time jobs after school, like mowing my neighbors' lawns, walking dogs, babysitting, buying and selling at garage sales, and even tying up with local drug dealers and selling illegal stuff to my peers. I earned just enough to put food on the table, but never to eat good, high-quality food, not even once in a while. We barely ever shopped for clothes, and were $60,000 in debt. By the end of my junior year of high school, I was getting desperate for a decent-paying, stable job. I started looking through job offers on Craigslist. I stumbled upon a job offer that was high-paying and seemed pretty easy, even for me. It read, "Night guard needed at the Scarlet Game Store. Earn $3,000 a month. Work 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. Contact us at," phone number omitted, email address omitted. This doesn't look very professional, I thought to myself, but beggars can't be choosers, and so I decided to just give them a call and see what was up. A man with a comically jolly voice picked up the phone. I inquired about the job offer. I got the address of the store. He answered all of my questions before asking one of his own. "Can you follow certain rules, no matter how stupid they sound, without questioning? If yes, then you're hired." I chuckled and agreed to do so. He asked me to meet him at 11:50 p.m. at the store and immediately hung up. I stood there, puzzled, but happy that I got the job. I broke the news to my family. Everyone was really happy that I got the job. I had always dreamt about giving my mom and my siblings something good with my first big paycheck. What was once a distant dream was now going to become a reality. I Ubered to the store, arriving a few minutes earlier than the specified time. I was immediately alarmed to see the store being located in the woods, an isolated area where people wouldn't even stop to have meals or even refuel their vehicles, let alone purchase video games. But since the pay was really high, I foolishly ignored the red flag and walked into the store. It was already unlocked. I walked inside and switched the lights on. I look around the store. The store was shaped like a box, with a cashier counter on one side, 2 shelves stocked with games on the remaining 2 out of 3 sides, and a wide range of gaming consoles attached to mini TVs were neatly arranged on the remaining side. The wall facing the cashier's counter had a door, which led into a restroom. Overall, a pretty basic game store. A bit dull, but it was pretty much what you'd expect from a store in isolation to look like anyway. After I checked out the entire place, I sat down on a chair next to the cashier counter and started scrolling through my Instagram. Less than a minute later, I heard a door open, and I stood up immediately to face the entrance door and greet my employer and/or the customer that had walked in. Instead of the entrance, I heard footsteps coming towards me from the bathroom door. I turned to see a smiling man in a tuxedo. He greeted me with a smile and signaled me to sit down. I complied. He walked up to me and thanked me for being on time. He had a really positive aura around him, and I couldn't resist smiling at his comment. He handed me a piece of paper and said, "Remember the deal? You follow these rules to the T, and I pay you." I told him I would follow all the rules without questioning him even once. He handed me the piece of paper and stepped back. I smoothed out the paper, and it read, "Rules for Survival. Rule 1. Do not, and I mean do not, let a guy in a neon green hoodie and red shorts enter the building. He comes every night at precisely 2 a.m. Keep the doors and windows locked at this point. Yes, even the bathroom door. He's gonna knock at the entrance door, firmly tell him to leave without sounding annoyed, and never use cuss words. He will leave at 2:07 if you keep an eye on him. Rule 2. If a television set randomly turns on by itself, look at the screen, but not for more than 5 seconds. Look into the TV and check what the image is. If it's a guy standing with a knife, do not look behind you and shut your eyes. You might feel something hard, cold, and metal-like graze your neck, but do not flinch. It'll be gone when you hear a high-pitched giggle. If, however, you see a dead guy hanging from a tree, run inside the bathroom and don't come out until 4 a.m. You'll only see the dead guy between 2 and 3 a.m. Rule 3. If one of the Blu-rays falls to the ground on its own, pick it up and apologize to the shelf from which it has fallen. You have offended the entities in some way or another. Not following this rule will not kill you, but you will wake up with bruises and sores all over your body the next time you go to sleep, which will hurt like hell for at least a week. Rule 4. If you hear the sound of a gaming console booting up, with an exception to Sega, run outside the store and spend the rest of the night in the woods. There are a variety of creatures and animals here which are quite dangerous, and do not even for a second think you'll be safe on a tree. That's the worst place to be. Try not to go to sleep, and always keep your guard up. Rule 5. If you hear the Sega console's booting audio, take the pistol in the cashier's drawer and kill yourself immediately. It'll be far less painful and traumatizing than what the Sonic-like creature will do to you. Rule 6. If you hear the toilet flush, turn on a gaming console and start playing. Do not look anywhere else but the TVs, or you'll be killed by an old man standing right behind you at the time. His name is John Stam. He's going to rip your limbs out and tear chunks of your flesh out before sticking its disgusting tongue into your wounds and drinking some blood straight from the veins. It's going to enjoy each and every second of your torture and will probably keep you alive for hours, keeping you drenched in concentrated acid before finally killing you. To say he is sadistic would be an understatement. We do not know who this man is or what he wants, but please be wary. He will be gone after your console on which you're playing shuts down by itself. Rule 7. Do not even try to call the cops. You're going to die before they pick up your call because of natural causes, and then the old man will pay you a visit. P.S. No one can read the text written on this paper except you. I looked up. I had some obvious questions which needed to be answered as soon as possible. But the man was gone. I never heard him leave. I looked around the building frantically but found no evidence of him whatsoever. I was going to call my mother before I was interrupted by the sound of the toilet flushing. Not wanting to risk it, I turned on a PlayStation 5 and started playing. And after what felt like an hour or two, the console shut down and the TV went out on its own. I took a breather, then frantically started looking through the drawers behind the cashier counter to find the pistol. I knew it could not help me, but at least it would help me feel safe. I finally find the pistol, and just as I was about to close the drawer, I noticed the file kept below the pistol. Curiosity got the best of me, and so I started reading. Employees, night guards. Number 1, Frederick Goldman, killed. Number 2, Evan Smith, killed. Number 3, James Sando, fired. Number 4, John Stam, missing. Number 5, Ali Ahmad. My hands started trembling as soon as I came to a sudden realization. I dropped the file and had a panic attack. Nothing unusual happened for the rest of the night. In the morning, I was greeted by the same man who had handed me the list of rules. But before I could say anything, he handed me a briefcase with $5,000 and said, "I know you spotted the file. We will be raising your salary from $3,000 a month to $4,000 a month. Now don't question it and just work. Leave if you want, but we will have you killed if you tell anyone about this. Also, a person with your expertise won't get 1/10 of this pay anywhere else. I stood there, contemplating. I told him I would still do the job. He smirked and patted my back. Now, I'm just sitting here, typing this. All this was just too much for me to just remain silent. I don't know whether to take the high-paying job or go work somewhere safe. Go get paid, you idiot.